The following is a production of Florida State University's Office of University Communications. Coming up on FSU Headlines, you've got mail and a major distraction from your mobile device. Florida State gives first-generation college freshmen a head start. It's showtime. Florida State reveals a star-studded lineup of opening nights. Stay tuned for these stories and much, much more. FSU Headlines starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker.
And I'm Nora Bertollet. We're broadcasting here in the amazingly beautiful William Johnston building at Florida State University.
Our top headline this month: smartphones are changing the way we communicate. But how are all the tweets, emails, and updates affecting your concentration? Excuse me, I have to take this.
Well, a group of researchers at Florida State find that all those beeps, buzzes, and dings your phone makes do serious damage to your train of thought.
What?
FSU psychology students Courtney Yinert and Carrie Stothert asked subjects to complete a simple task while being exposed to notifications from their phones. The subjects completing the task without the distraction of their phones performed better as compared to those who completed the task while still in the presence of their phone. Just knowing that someone or something was trying to get their attention impaired the test subject's ability to focus on their task. Basically, cell phones can be a distraction even if you aren't multitasking with them.
We found that just knowing that somebody's trying to contact you, you start to think about things like, who could that be? Or if it was somebody you're already talking about or talking to, what were we talking about? And then you start recalling the conversation, and it starts affecting with what you're doing. And so like when you're doing tasks like you're giving a speech or you're driving a car, just knowing that someone's trying to contact you, it really affects with what you're trying to focus on at hand.
Cell phones, everyone has one, but people don't realize that just not interacting with a cell phone will stop distraction. People should know that just knowing that you have your cell phone nearby can cause distraction. We're not the only study to find this. There's other studies, but we're the first to find that just knowing that you received a cell phone notification could be distracting.
The researchers will conduct another study to test cell phone notification distractions while the participants are given a driving test on a simulator.
Well, Florida State University's Garnet and Gold Scholar Society honors the university's most engaged students.
Sandy is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
This summer, 21 Florida State students demonstrating excellence in leadership, internship, service, international study, and research were inducted into the society, receiving a special Garnet and Gold medallion. The goal of the society is for students to foster relationships and involvement beyond the classroom for a more engaged experience during their time at Florida State University.
We knew that that would happen because it took a while for students to even know about the opportunity, and then as people see the advantages of it, see what other students have gained from that experience, then it really just sells itself. So it's really just a marketing strategy for us and word of mouth as well as formal marketing to let people know about what a phenomenal experience that is. And then students these days really like to get recognized for their accomplishments, and so this is a way to recognize them as well.
I really enjoyed the research that I did in the chemistry lab and computational biology lab at Florida State. However, the service and the leadership activities were also just as valuable.
Having the chance to teach a class was amazing, and I really got to take my story and my experience here at Florida State and help kind of mold other people's experiences and help them, it's okay, and connect them with all the resources and things that are here to help them. So I really, really enjoyed that. I still see them around campus sometimes, and I loved that.
Garnet and Gold scholars wear the medallion during commencement as a symbol of their achievements.
The state of Florida has the highest percentage of older residents in the country, and the Florida State University College of Medicine is strengthening the workforce for geriatric care thanks to a multi-million-dollar federal grant.
So Robin, have you seen her legs lately? Look, they're nice and skinny again. We've got some wrinkles.
The Federal Health Resources and Services Administration will give the College of Medicine a $2.25 million grant as part of the National Geriatrics Workforce Enhancement Program. With the participation of the Florida State Colleges of Nursing and Social Work, as well as regional affiliates, the College of Medicine will form the North Central Florida Geriatrics Workforce Enhancement Partnership to help address healthcare issues presented by the aging population throughout the state.
A lot of our education with this grant is going to be out in local community health centers and in nursing homes and in the homes of patients. So it'll be very different for our students than what we've done before.
For our students here, whether they be medical students, social work students, or nursing students, this opportunity, this grant is going to allow them to perform together and to learn things that they normally would not be doing in a normal curriculum. So we, of course, pride ourselves in the College of Medicine of having geriatrics as a major theme and serving the underserved. And this is just going to enhance our overall mission.
And FSU is one of only 2 schools in the state to receive the grant. Florida State University's campus on the coast is adding a specialized program to teach the next generation of nurses. Florida State University Panama City is home to Florida State's full-service branch campus and the university's newest college, the College of Applied Studies. Now, thanks to the addition of the Master of Science in Nurse Anesthesia Program, FSU PC is growing once again. The Florida State University Panama City Nurse Anesthesia Program is helping some of the best nurses in the country expand their medical expertise. These students work closely with anesthesiologists to master the skills needed in patient care before, during, and after surgery.
I have a background in science and chemistry, which I loved very much, and then I went into nursing, and because I enjoy the patient care very much, so that combination of science, chemistry, plus that patient care really drew me to nurse anesthesia. I think it's a wonderful resource for our county. I actually have my science degrees, my bachelor's degrees are from FSU, so I'm really excited to once again be back with FSU and graduating with this nurse anesthesia program. And I think that as a community itself, we draw in wonderful nurses who want this program both locally and from other places in the country, and it's a wonderful thing for FSU to pick up this ball and keep it going.
I've worked as a registered nurse for 3 years prior to going into this program, and I've cared for this community in that whole time, and I wanted to go to school to continue my education so that I could take it a little step further and provide a greater level of care.
And Nora, the nurses in this program must complete a rigorous 28-month course before taking the national exam to become certified registered nurse anesthetists.
Well, coming up on FSU Headlines, a group of freshman students get a head start on moving into the residence halls.
People playing games, people sitting down, listening to music, performances, so it's kind of like a big family kind of gathering.
Find out how these first-generation college students are adjusting to life on campus when FSU Headlines continues in a moment.
I've always been curious about things, and that really just leads you straight into science, because science really is formalized curiosity. One of the coolest things I've gotten to do at FSU has been conduct research with Sir Harry Kroto, and I was really surprised that I would get to hear directly from a Nobel laureate in chemistry, and I was even more surprised to find out that he was just really accessible. Being here at FSU has helped me be the best student that I can be.
When you purchase a Florida State University license plate, you're supporting students, like me. Tag, you're in.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker.
And I'm Nora Bertollet. The fall semester is here, which means a new class of freshmen are here too.
But one group of freshmen got an early start thanks to Florida State's Summer Bridge program. Take a look.
Renika Etienne is a freshman at Florida State ready to study physical therapy, but unlike most of the freshmen that will arrive on campus at the end of August for the fall semester, Renika started classes in June.
We went to a family reunion where I met a girl, and she was really nice to me, really sweet. She was a lot older than I was, and she came to Florida State, and she was explaining to me the CARE program, and she was telling me that you should really get into it. It's a great factor. She's like, it's like a big family where they help you get used to going to college, and she's like, you'll enjoy it a lot. And I was really hesitant because I'm like, I don't know if I want to come all the way up to Florida State.
The Center for Academic Retention and Enhancement, known as CARE, is a multifaceted facility at FSU that provides support for underrepresented, disadvantaged, as well as first-generation students. The Summer Bridge program is one of CARE's fastest-growing initiatives, with a record 400 Summer Bridge participants this year.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
And helps first-generation college students, like Renika, as well as her parents, successfully adapt and navigate college life.
These students are first in their family to go to college, and what we hear from a lot of parents is they don't know how this is, and they're afraid. They're sending their child off. Some of them they're firstborn, and they're like, I don't know. They're far away from home. Most of our students are coming 8 hours away from home, and so we try to make sure they understand that we create an atmosphere that we'll be there for them, that we'll support them, and we'll help them to develop. Then part of our programming as well is that all of our students are required to do what we call small groups. And these are different engagement activities that supplement their educational experiences. And so they're out of classroom experiences, but will help them either professionally or personally.
We were introduced to the undergraduate dean, where she came multiple times, and we were able to speak with her one-on-one, and we were introduced to a lot of administration around campus, a lot of staff.
Outside of assemblies, campus tours, and classes, students in the Bridge program work with each other and Ambassador CARE students to organize and participate in several CARE activities like the talent show, field day, CARE ball, and the end of the summer banquet.
Welcome students, faculty, and staff to the 2015 CARE banquet.
If I can see it, then I can do it. If you just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe you can fly.
It was nice, and then at the end we had a lot of tears and stuff, where we actually gave our ambassadors gifts to show them our appreciation for helping us, get through these several weeks, because they weren't only just our leaders, they were kind of our mentors, our tutors, our person to go to when we didn't have the friends or the family to go to.
Rachel Mack knows exactly how the program and its participants influences the college experience. Thanks to her time in the Summer Bridge program and staying involved in CARE, she graduated from FSU in the spring with numerous accolades, lifelong friends and memories, and is ready to tackle grad school in the fall.
I wouldn't have had a CARE counselor at the time, which is now the ambassador role, to show me the ropes of what campus life is like, what I can get involved in, and just having her to sit down and listen to me and help me organize what I want to do, and what may be my next step and what is a good step.
To learn more about the Center for Academic Retention and Enhancement, visit care.fsu.edu. Well, Florida State University's annual Festival of the Fine and Performing Arts, Opening Nights, has unveiled its lineup for the upcoming season.
Stepping out with my baby, can't go wrong 'cause I'm in right.
Singers Tony Bennett and Patti LaBelle, along with Eat, Pray, Love author Elizabeth Gilbert, are just a few of the performances on bill. There is a major addition to the series, as Opening Nights will co-present the Tallahassee Broadway series with the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center, bringing tour productions of Flashdance, Saturday Night Fever, and The Illusionist.
We also annually are now bringing an artist in to do a week-long intensive school tour in our area. We're bringing the bluegrass group, the Barefoot Movement, here to do 10 performances in 5 days in schools all across Leon and other surrounding counties to see a performance like Tony Bennett, Patti LaBelle on the Ruby Diamond stage that it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our community and our campus.
To see the full lineup of this season's performances and events, check out openingnights.fsu.edu.
The Florida State University College of Business recognizes its outstanding alumni with a special honor every year.
Accomplished alumni are inducted into its Hall of Fame. And this year, the co-founder and managing director of an oil and gas exploration, development, and production enterprise joins the ranks of the Hall of Famers.
I grew up in Palmetto, a little small town just south of Tampa. Hunted, fished, had fun, being outdoors all the time, playing football, doing a little bit of schoolwork. When I was 16, I worked as a plumber one summer, digging ditches, both to stay in shape and to make some money. But on the back of that shovel, I also learned that that's not what I wanted to do the rest of my life. Numbers were always sort of something I was good at. It was always the subject in school I excelled at. It was just an easy transition into accounting. When I went off to college, it was one subject that interested me. I'd never been exposed to business, so it challenged me. When I went into my first intermediate accounting course and about 60% of the students failed, I was really nervous about, could I really do this? Was I really up to the challenge? And I worked really hard and I did good in the class, and that was sort of my launching pad. I was really taken back because there was the Outstanding Accounting Student of the Year award, and I got it, and still makes me feel pretty proud today to get that award. It really does. I got a scholarship that really helped, but you look back and that was pretty special for me in my career at Florida State, because you don't know you have that in you until somebody recognizes it. One thing that Florida State did for me was it taught me what I call a trade. And when I got out into the business world, I realized how good of an education I had. I really could excel above and beyond a lot of my colleagues that went to other schools. I started out at Price Waterhouse. I was with 100 new other students. 90% of them got fired in the first year because of the downturn in the economy, so only 10 of us survived. And it was because of my education at Florida State that I was one of the survivors. And there was one other person from Florida State that was a survivor. So I think our education paid off when times were tough. One of the things I've been able to do is work all over the world. And I was at Price Waterhouse Houston, very comfortable, very happy. I had the opportunity to go to Kazakhstan, which is part of Central Asia. I went there, my family went there with me. Bless their soul, especially my wife, Debbie. And I took an office from 8 people to 300 people for Price Waterhouse. After about 4 years, I decided that I really needed to go work on my own because I could do the same thing. So I raised some money and started a private investment company and started to build some oil companies in Kazakhstan. And I partnered up with some different guys, worked very hard for about 6 years, and we were able to build 2 multi-billion-dollar oil companies and sell them. And I moved back to the US and started a domestic oil company in 2002, and then took that oil company and we sold that 3 years ago in 2011. And then along the way, I built a couple buildings in New York City with my friends and some other fascinating things. So that broad experience, I've been able to take on a lot of challenges professionally and do a lot of interesting things. Debbie and I met my freshman year in college and captured her as fast as I could, and we've sort of been in love ever since, just to be honest. It's been a great relationship. One thing that my wife Debbie and I decided to focus our giving on and our time on at Florida State is the first generation students, because we saw the difficulties that they were having with going off to a 4-year college, the first one in their family to ever do it. One thing we've done with our time and our money is to provide scholarships for these first generation students to actually go overseas and be independent and get away from a lot of bad things that have happened in their life. And so they can learn how powerful a person they really are because they're smart and they're motivated and they're at Florida State. And we have really focused our time and our money on that program and it's been massively rewarding.
"39 business alumni have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Visit business.fsu.edu for more.
Well, coming up next on FSU Headlines, it's football season.
We'll show you how the Seminoles are gearing up for the 2015 season when FSU Headlines continues in a moment.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker.
And I'm Nora Bertollet. You know, Dennis, it's kind of hard to believe, but it's already football season again.
You're right, Nora, and it's the best time of year. The Florida State Seminoles are prepping for their 2015 season, and the Seminoles have a lot to look forward to, especially some big-time games here at Doak Campbell Stadium this year. FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn joins us now with a preview. Mark?
Hey, guys. Well, it's a bit of good news for the Florida State Seminole football team as they head into the 2015 season, number 8 in the coaches poll. The team is coming off a berth in the inaugural college football playoffs and returning some core talent as the Seminoles look to make another run at a national title. But they will have some key positions to fill if they plan to do so, namely at quarterback. Heisman Trophy winner Jameis Winston is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and there's a stable of good QBs looking to fill his shoes on the field. Luckily, the Seminoles do have some outstanding leadership coming back with 4 All-ACC preseason selections in Jalen Ramsey, Roberto Aguayo, Roderick Johnson, and Terrence Smith. The Noles open the year at home this time in Doak Campbell Stadium against Texas State on September 5th. That's at 8 o'clock. Now to the soccer pitch, and it's number 1 for FSU women's soccer, entering the season on a school record 21-game unbeaten streak and following the program's first ever national championship last year. The Florida State women's soccer team comes in at number 1 in the 2015 preseason poll from the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. It's the highest preseason ranking in school history and the 10th time overall that the Seminoles have been ranked number 1. Since 2000, the Seminoles have made it 15 straight trips to the NCAA tournament, played in 13 Sweet 16s, and advanced to the quarterfinal round 10 years in a row. That's the longest active streak in the nation. Florida State opens the 2015 season on the road in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with the Lobo Invitational taking on New Mexico. Here's to a great season to all the Seminole athletic teams, and you can always stay up to date on all things Seminole athletics by visiting Seminoles.com. Back to you.
All right, Mark, thanks for that report. Florida State University is dedicated to educating the military men and women who serve our country.
One of the ways FSU helps its student veterans is by sharing their stories of triumph. Take our next story, for example. Here's FSU student veteran Vidal Carranza.
The environment towards veterans here is very positive. The students, to the staff, to the faculty, it's been very accommodating. So I joined the United States Air Force in 2003. Then I went through tech school, which was about 5 months. This is after basic training. I got orders to go to Iraq in the winter of 2004. Some of the duties that we had in Iraq were primarily working with emergency power. We'd set up, just your generic power structure, and it would be in a place where there was no infrastructure. Iraq at the time was pretty decimated. I'd say on a daily basis, there would be, clearly like rockets or mortars. IEDs are very common. One of the times that I can recall probably the best was one of them, blew up when I was outside, and I remember just it knocked the wind out of me and my ears were ringing. They're still ringing, honestly. pretty bad. And I remember I just thought it was kind of like a surreal feeling. You see the smoke coming up and debris falling down. When you're there, you're not eating a lot or very good food. And I was walking through what's called Tent City. It's like walking through Tent City, and I just fell out, which is like a military phrase for like I just passed out. You have a lot of gear on, probably dehydrated, overtired. I didn't think, I was kind of not really with it. And then I woke up, I think 2 days later in a med tent. And they didn't know what was wrong with me, so they scanned me. And they said my abdominal wall and my small intestines were fusing together. They basically told me I was dying. They flew me back to the United States, to UCLA. They saw it was definitely something there and they'd want to do surgery, so. After I had all the surgeries, they wanted me to enter back. They wanted to pull me back into active duty. But because it took so long, it took about a year, I was released, which wasn't a bad thing. I immediately started college in California. And then after my undergraduate, I applied to varying places and chose Florida State. Good school, good location. And then when I first went to the Veteran Center, I had never seen anything like that before. There's a lot of veteran liaisons in different universities, but the Florida State one's the one that immediately reached out, gave me a lot of resources, and how they make you feel is like, you might have different experiences, but you're not a subcategory of anything else. And if you need any other resources, they'll allot them to you or provide you with assistance. But we're all students first, and then after that, we're provided the resources. So, overall, overwhelmingly, I shouldn't say overall, overwhelmingly, it's been a very, very good experience for being a student veteran here, absolutely.
You can see other student veteran stories and learn more about the student veteran initiatives at Florida State by visiting veterans.fsu.edu.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of FSU Headlines, but you can see more news from Florida State University anytime at Florida State 24/7.
It's the official news website of Florida State University, and you can find it at news.fsu.edu.
On behalf of Nora and everyone else here at Florida State University, I'm Dennis Schnitker. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.